It's me, Arkia. I don't want to use my webcam because it's ass. And I also like being in front of the camera. But also, I was at the bar, but I didn't drink anything. And I'm not going to go into details entirely why, but I'll just say some bad stuff happened, and I had to go take the person I'm living with there so we could chill. And that's what happened. So we were at the bar, and yeah, hi, just random, just totally threw that in your face. Like, hi, bad things happen. And you'd be like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Are you okay? That's what we're probably thinking. I'd be like, yeah, I'm okay. That's all I can say. I don't ever want to talk about um, personal stuff too much. I made a few videos before this that were going over a lot of the recent events that were transpiring that were before this and that led up to this, and me living in Alabama and all that shit. So, yeah, needless to say, at least I have somewhere to live. That's all I kind of try to focus on. And the people I'm living with, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help out. So, yeah. How are you guys? Sorry to be super just like, hey, what's up? This is happening. But how are you? And what are you guys, how you guys feeling? All that shit. Okay. I don't know why I'm trying to ask that question right now. I need to learn how to make my words breathe. That's like a technique that I'm trying to learn, and I'm not doing it correctly. I'm just like, oh, and then I'm like, how are you? And I'm like, that's that's stupid. This does not work. This video is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. I'm just kidding. I don't really know if it is. I'm tired. It's also why I am not pacing myself right now mentally. I did not sleep well at all. But either way, I'm doing okay. And I'm hoping you guys are okay. That's what I tried to say. That's what this is about. That's why all I wanted to do was the intro. But I went into a whole bunch of stupid. I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing? I really want to talk about the dark side stuff today. I don't know how even to tackle that one entirely, but I'm just going to start. This one might be multiple episodes to even fully explore anything close to, like, I don't know what, because the dark side of a human is a vast ocean. It's not just a bad side. There are so many things interconnected in the human psyche of what makes you a good person that resides in the dark side of yourself. You cannot have the good without the bad. You cannot be a whole human without the war, the internal struggle. And to become fully existential or aware of it takes so much work, so many years of patience, and just self endearing thoughts towards that side of yourself. Like, I know why you are there. I know that I love myself despite, and being comfortable with talking about it to yourself or with a loved one or a friend or a counselor or something is also a huge deal, because then that box is finally opened. But it's opened in a safe way, that it has, you know, limitations, barriers to breathe, because the huge curse of humanity is to box things away, to bottle them up, and never ever deal with them. No one will ever find them, and then they fester. And where do we get the anxiety from? Where does all that anger and hatred and anxiety and just the twisted side of yourself, where does it go? When you're disassociating and you're full of anxiety and you're getting angry at people, what does it do? It lashes out. It finally just gives in. It gives up. It goes, fuck it. Right? The fuck it side can do a lot of things. And for me personally, my fuck it side is pretty bad when you push me far enough. And I know mine. This is why I'm so willing to talk about it, because everyone has a different degree of anger. And the reason this happened to me recently, literally yesterday. That's why I said I'm okay. Everyone's okay. I was at the bar. Something happened, and I got really angry. But I controlled it. I handled it within myself, because I've done it before. I've gotten that angry before. And when you do it over and over and over, you let yourself get to that edge. But you tell it, I'm in control. I make the choices. Right? So, if you're making the choices for yourself, as it's happening, as the wave is crashing in, you're deciding to ride it, to almost waterbend it around a certain way. That's what we call anger management internally, in like live dynamic anger management. That will be a whole different thing we're going to cover. How to properly self-talk and ground yourself while in a full rage spout that you feel like you're going to kill someone. That is going to be our final nail in the coffin of the dark side. How to conquer it. That's one of the biggest steps. And there's more. There's ones I'm working on still. There's another one that is like your darkest, sickest desires that everyone has. You're not perfect. No one can say that they don't have, a twisted side or something that is related to trauma or something to do with their past, or someone in their family who hurt them, or it usually is. It's like if you're saying, oh, it's not related to that or whatever, my weird thing that I don't tell anyone about, it is. Trust me. It's a broken side of yourself that you can't fix. And you're going to be mad at yourself and mad at me, probably me telling you that. It's not something that you can fix just right away. If you do fix it, it'll take a long, long time. And it's so much work. And for me, I always use myself as an example here because I got nothing else. Mine, I'll admit it, I've suffered from a porn addiction that is not even about porn. I figured out later in life it's nothing to do with porn, and I use porn to cope with the actual problem, but it doesn't help. Every single time I slip or give in, I feel empty. I don't feel good. Nothing. My emotions are gone. I don't feel anything. It's just this terrible feeling of like I'm in a cycle of hell that I'm never going to be fulfilled. And it has to do with and emptiness, I feel it's loneliness. It's a genuine loneliness, I feel. Um, I'm not sure what it is, and I know it's related to I know it's weirdly related to my parents. I don't know why, and it's frustrating, and it's related to it, this is again. I'm still working on this one, so why it's frustrating. I'm trying to think about it right now. I'm this is how I'm theorizing it because every time I feel that way, I feel empty. I feel alone. I feel like I need to fill that void, and it's something that I think as a child I wasn't fulfilled as a child. I don't know what it was, um, but I know it does have a lot to do with the fact as well that um, I was molested at 5 as well. Things like that, they alter your personality. They have activate premature sexual urges and things like that. So, and I'm sorry, I should have said trigger warning or whatever, but I'm pretty sure if you're really here to talk about, your difficult side or difficult emotions, you're already like, I understand, I know exactly what you mean. If you're not, you don't have to listen to this. You could go away, click off. It's not a big deal. It's your choice. You're completely free to do whatever you need to do. Um, back to childhood trauma related things. That's usually where it stems from. I know that's where it stems from, but it's such a locked away thing for me that I think my brain is just doesn't really want to look at it. You know what I mean? Doesn't really want to face it. It just wants to lock it away. But I'm trying to face it. That's the thing. Every time I do, I get a little bit better. And what I do is I look at myself, or I analyze myself more and more and more as I'm feeling that way. And I try to ask myself, what's another better option right now to see if I can make myself feel better in a healthier way? That's an actual outlet, like something like drawing. Drawing lately has been good for me. Um, that's been really nice. Writing as well. You know, there's other ways to try to maybe talk about those things with yourself through healing, through a repetitive task. Like, you need to actually sit and analyze your issue, not just go away and ignore it. So I try to do that. The best way to analyze your issues, for me, I'll say how I do this, is to let the urge come up and just let it be there. This is actually a technique used by monks, to just let that side exist. Breathe with it. Meditate with it. Don't hate on it. Don't even give in. Don't love it. Just be neutral. It's very challenging. Really challenging because you're resisting. You're not giving into a temptation almost. But there's a reason that temptation's there. It's because you're trying to get the fuck out of your head. There's something inside that you're trying to hide from. So that's the first step. One of the first steps of what we call either shadow work or just analyzing your dark side. Just the grounding of oneself in those moments. Same thing what I was explaining before. Asking yourself, how do I feel right now? What am I looking at? How's my breathing? What do I hear? What do I see? All that stuff. You know what I mean? Just a breath. That's super, super powerful. So, yeah. Hold on. Just getting a drink. Alright. I think for people who have violent tendencies, so this is not about addiction now, this is just about violence. It usually also is. Why are all of them parent related? But this one's a different one. It has to do with physical abuse. And this is a pattern that I've noticed in people that have either self-harm or harming others. It's always has to do with a parent that was violent. Well, not always. Some kids or people are violent just naturally, but if it's a trauma-related response that you feel you need to hurt someone, same thing. If you're feeling that way, you don't need to hate yourself, but don't give in. Just let that thought exist in the mind. Let it be there and look at it. Take a deep breath with me. Sometimes, yes, you feel like you're not good enough and you feel like you don't deserve to have the body you have, and you hate yourself because of the shame people have put on you for being either too skinny or overweight or not pretty enough. Just tell yourself right now you're beautiful and you're strong, because you are. Take a deep breath with me. How are you feeling right now? Where are you? What are your feet touching? The floor? Do you hear birds outside? How can you feel the beat of your own heart? Just be alone right now. Just be safe right now. And just exist in the dark side. It's okay. You don't have to hide from anyone or in anything at this moment. You are you, and you are beautiful, and you are fierce, and you are strong, and you are without words. One of the most amazing people ever to exist, because you are the only person who can decide that. This is something I do every time when I get angry or feel these emotions. I remind myself how good of a person I can be, what the right thing is. And I ask myself, what's good in my life? What am I grateful for? And how much is my anger going to outweigh all of that? Is it really worth losing or sacrificing my love or my relationship with everything else that I have with me that is so good, just to give in and hurt this much? It's not even about hurting others. Why would I want to hurt myself or hurt this much right now? That's the big question. And you deserve to be honest about it. And that stops me in my tracks every time, because my dog is being silly right now. Because I care so much about what I have. I care so much about the people in my life that the only reason I would even give in or be is to divert my anger from them. And that's a technique that is really, really hard to manage sometimes. But I know diverting or sometimes giving your space or time alone with these thoughts is the safest thing to do so that they don't end up hurting someone else. But you do sometimes in life need to be able to talk about it, you know? And I'm lucky to have been able to do that. Yes, I've been hurt by people. They've told me point blank, I deserve to kill myself over these things, or I don't deserve friends. But none of that's true. I know that. Being mentally sure of yourself takes time. Being able to know, like, no, that's not true about me. I know I have a bad side. I know I have things that I've done, but I love myself and I love others no matter what. Even if they told me the most fucked up thing about themselves or you know, the biggest secret that I've ever learned, I would still be there for them at the end of the day when no one else is there. And that's because I would like to be treated like that too. So you can't just give up because then you're not being the example of what you're trying to find. You can't expect people to treat you that way and not treat others. This is why constantly showing kindness and love is an extremely powerful thing, because if you tell people your story of what you've been through and then your actions show you're still willing to keep trying, those people who have been through things just as bad or worse or whatever, doesn't really matter, will come into your life and talk to you and open up and celebrate and love you for who you are right now, not based on the past or what you should be because of their opinions. They are willing to sit and breathe with you and accept you. And it takes time to find those people. And when you do find someone like that in your life, do not take them for granted. Do not let them go. Show them kindness. Do things for them. You know? Just be there. If they ask you to go to a party or something, go to that party. Talk to them. That's what you should do. Something. Just reach out. You know? Don't ever be afraid to take a chance no matter what happens. Always take a chance on living, because that's the whole point of getting through this is together we can get through this, is if we reach out together and try to live our lives and love one another as we are, warts and all. That's pure love. It's true. It's genuine. That helps with kind of alleviating some of the bad things about yourself, because you don't have any reason to be ashamed. The only reason, if you're afraid or ashamed, is because you're not dealing with it. You're not accepting it. And that's on you. That's not anyone else's fault. And that's your choices. You're capable of making this choice. And it's on your time. No one's going to rush you. You know what I mean? Just breathe with it. Let it exist inside of your mind, but also remind yourself of the good things. Because over time, the trauma or the anxiety is just unrelated, disassociated memories that are reactive responses. Basically, just mechanisms to protect you. But another way to look at it is, are they serving you any purpose right now? No. Ask yourself, what's the healthiest, best thought or mindset I can have right now? And just analyze both. Be like, why am I so upset? Where's this coming from? And yeah, you need to ask yourself, how do I feel about my mom? How do I feel about my dad? How do I feel about my brother? How they treated me when I was younger? What did I do um, that could have thrown me out? Like, not thrown you out, but there's things even I did as a kid that pushed my relationship away further. I just pushed people away. It's what I did for a long time. I still am working on this. This is why I have a very limited amount of friends in my personal life. And I keep the ones that I really want to talk to. I talk to a few of them. But it's hard for me to talk to a bunch of different friends all at one time. So me not pushing away people is it takes a lot of pacing and a lot of patience for me. Um, but I do care about everyone. So sometimes for brief moments I won't talk to someone and then I will. It really just depends on the situation or the circumstance. And I don't even know why I do it. But I know it's related to my brother. He pushed me away a lot. And I I try to deal with it. Um, Not having that closeness, not having that brotherly, friendship made me feel ostracized or cast out, like I didn't belong anywhere. I don't belong. And weirdly, that's triggered a side of me that is very destructive towards objects. I don't know what that's about, but it makes me want to burn things or break things. It's a very deep, deep side of myself that is just like burn it all. I don't care. Like, what is that? I don't know what that is. Just fuck everything. So that's a thing. But I use that side of myself. I want to break shit or I don't care. I'm really angry. To remind myself I can have courage right now. I can be strong. I can be a leader. I can set an example, especially when I feel this way. If I set an example right now, how powerful is that for me later to remember and for people to remember and go, he did that. He handled that the best way he could. We don't know what's going on with him right now or whatever, and I'm trying to personally manage it myself, but if you can be be better a little bit every time you feel that way by again just analyzing your emotions and analyzing your feelings is another thing I want to get into now is um okay, hold on, I'm just gonna try to think about this for a second because I want to present this to you in a way that is so that you can walk away with something that you feel you can use, but it's different than what I've talked about. So analyzing your dark side is a part of you that is personal, right? But it requires an intense amount of focus. So you can go on walks or just don't stare at anything for a while. This is an important step. It's just not stimulating yourself too much. The reason why we stimulate ourselves in front of our devices or watch TV all day is literally the reason of I have a lot of fucked up thoughts. Um, but then you associate them with a game or a movie, and that's a subtle thing that you don't realize you're doing. Especially violent movies or darker, um, concepts you see in the stories that you're feeding into your mind, you're not understanding that you're tricking yourself into liking those things when you're not. You're actually hurting. When you walk away, this is where your ego and your attitude's gonna come out. You're like, whatever, walking, breathing, fuck this. It's going to happen. You're gonna have a withdrawal because you're gonna want to go back to hiding and feeding yourself more stimulation. So that's one of the big steps too. Just letting your mind breathe. Letting your mind breathe allows you to recalibrate, recoup, and organize things better. So this is not just about your fucked up thoughts, but they're related to your successes. That's what I said before in the beginning of this. It's related to how well you're going to do tomorrow, and how you will have more energy, things like that. You'll just be more conscious of your needs. Maybe you'll eat a little bit healthier over time too. That's just a natural thing that'll happen. The more you pay attention to yourself, the more you realize, I want this, I need this, not just putting whatever in your face and watching whatever and not. You're literally just being whatever about everything. Like it's no big fucking deal, but it is a big fucking deal because you matter. What you have matters. Another thing for dealing with your issues or how is actually asking yourself, am I abusing or neglecting anything? Because one, we're talking about not neglecting yourself, but what about outside of you? But it is related, like your house, cleaning. I know this is a difficult one. This one will cause a lot of like fucking reactions, like fucking don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me to clean my house. But this is up to you. This is your journey. And the more organized your external environment is, the healthier your brain becomes. This is a fact. It's actually a scientific study. Your brain recalibrates and restructures itself around the environment it exists in. So how you act, how you think, how you treat others, loving others, and how you organize and treat your stuff all play a role into the structure of your mind later to creating a better mindset or attitude towards yourself and other people, self-love, and you'll be able to ground yourself better. So we could go into just saying, why get a Zen garden or something, get something simple that's just a zone out time, and put those things around your house. Organize your shelving and put them in a way that is very relaxing for you. It's not about it being perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. So this is not what this is for. This is in the sole purpose to not hurt you, but to comfort you. And the way I want you to think about this is to not push yourself to like, I gotta get it all done today, I gotta clean right now. That's actually a reactive response. That's not a set in stone long-term investment. You're not thinking in a way that's like, I need to clean my house because I want to, I have to because I feel pity and guilt and shame. That still won't fix the issue because your house will be clean one moment and go right back. The only way it can stay that way is a longer term, deep emotion towards how you feel about the way the room is. You'll miss it when it doesn't look that way. You're building a relationship with everything you have and how you feel about yourself. So you need to treat it like that. Then you realize a lot of those internal demons quiet down a bit, just a little. And you're able to breathe and feel okay and be happier. So, yeah, those are just some tips, some ideas. But they're not just ideas, they're things that I actually know and work. I've done these things for years and they've proven to me over and over with results to help the psychology of the mind in ways that it's beyond anything I can even explain or even science can explain. It's almost spiritual, but it could still be considered scientific if you want it to be. Either way, the most important thing for you is to accept the process. So, I get up one day, just clean your bathroom, go read, go cook, go walk, go enjoy the rest of your day. The next day, just clean your kitchen. Okay? In 2 days, you just clean your bathroom and your kitchen. Same thing. Go enjoy your day. Go out, meet up with friends. The next day, pick up your living room. And then go and enjoy your day. Have a meditation. Make some tea. Just create a cycle. And do you remember what I was talking about before? Work hard. Be a good friend be good to your friends and family, and shit's fucked. Shit's fucked is I don't care. I'm just gonna enjoy myself. I'm just gonna reward myself. You can build that structure around this. Just add your one chore, your one consistent. I'm gonna clean this today to your schedule, and it'll just be automatic. And at first, you'll be hyper conscious, overthinking it. Sometimes it'll invade you a little bit. You'll be like, and you'll put it off. Don't think about it. Just do it. Pick up the basic cleaner. Get some rags, sweep, mop, wipe, done. That's it. It's satisfying. It's simple. That's the point. You just do it. And repetitive. If you want to think of this in a way that is fun and helpful for you, if you have serious issues with quieting your mind doing it, think of this as if you're doing kind of like Karate Kids, Miyagi's wax on, wax off, or Jackie Chan, pick up the jacket, put it on, put it down, and hang it up. You're basically doing that to yourself. You cannot build strong connection to your mind, to the world around you, externally without repetitive tasks, and then you realize you are stronger and better at everything because you're slowly restructuring your mind to be able to listen to you when you say, I want this, or I need this right now. What you don't understand is every time you just put on a movie or give in to your urges, you're not actually in control of your mind anymore. Those things are now controlling the random impulses of your mind. You're basically just aimless, darting around. You're in the dark, and you have no idea you are in. That's what the dark side is you're actually not shedding light on yourself, exposing yourself, and going, we need to do some work. I need to be able to control some of my thoughts and control some of my actions. So, I know this got really deep and weird. Not weird, and in a good way. But, again, this is something I'm very passionate about and very focused on for me because my dark side is extreme. That's why I am so meticulous about how I'm explaining this, because it's something that this is my core, what I work on constantly. So I'm still in the process of it. This is not something that just, why did this like 7 years ago? I started working on this. I still have so much, that I've gotten through, but there's still more to do. There's still more to work on. I'm never a complete puzzle yet for this specific thing, and I don't think anyone really is. Like, there's no way that, because your life's going to kind of reconfigure and crumble sometimes. That's the fun part. you have everything in order, everything's controlled, everything's quote unquote perfect, but you have to remind yourself that may not always exist. Life, things change, people change, you might move on. Um, but what matters is that you have you. You have the self love and lessons and practices that you've consistently put the work into. That's all you have at the end of the day. Especially when you lose someone, or you know you've moved to a different place and you're feeling that strangeness. All you have is you know and you have to be okay with that. I mean, you don't have to be. I'm not telling you what to do, but you can be okay with it. Sorry. um, it's okay to be anxious or scared. you know that's completely normal, and being able to remind yourself that your emotions are normal. It's not belittling or dismissing your emotions. It's just reminding yourself you're on a level playing field, a reasonable reaction. And what that does inadvertently makes you not be overreactive. If you're not giving yourself the reminder of this is okay to feel this way, you push those things off, like I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, and then they bottle up and react later, which is related to the anxiety, which is related to you trying to cope and go into other things that aren't helping you. So another thing, while you're meditating or grounding yourself, just say, it's okay that I'm feeling these feelings. I may be angry, having some fucked up thoughts. I may be feeling guilt for overeating, or giving into my addiction to buying too many video games, or, just random things that, I mean, come on. We all have these things in some degree. So it's okay. You're okay. I'm proud of you, and you should be proud of you. And it's you're worth a lot. You're worth this to take the time to do this. That's what you're telling yourself. I am worth. I will. I would buy myself that time. I'm investing. This is not money. This is just investing. You are putting in the work to build, I would say, your own business model towards your life. If you don't try to treat your life as if it's a professional endeavor before you go out into the world, I think that's a huge missed opportunity, because again, you're priceless. There's nothing that can define you. So, yeah, you should tell yourself that, I think, that you're worth this endeavor. Thank you for listening.